That's a lovely little reel, that is, Brian, isn't it? They're so smooth and light. It's incredible what they've done with them, isn't it?
Yeah, lovely bits of kit now.
No metal, all
that's right, all graphite.
Yeah, super, no corrosion.
Very light.
Hello, mate, all right?
Okay, I've got one.
Hi,
Hello, Lee.
Mac.
So you still got the hat?
Yeah.
He's not taken it off since he's had it.
Oh, Mac, this is Brian, the man who just took all your, well, not quite, all, most of your money off me. I think you might have enough left for a pint, but we've got all the major items that we were after.
Smashing.
So, I think we've had a result.
Right. Can I leave him with you now? Because I've got to pick the missus up before she spends the rest
Yeah,
of
go
my
on,
money.
mate, yeah. I'm sure we can find something for him to do this afternoon down the
Lovely.
lake.
I'll see you later.
Yeah, won't be too late.
Have a good time.
Ta-ra,
Bye,
mate.
Dad.
Yeah. Ta-ra, mate. Right, Lee. This is your new rod. 12 foot, 3-piece carbon fibre. It's got a lined ring on the bottom there, so the line don't wear the metal out, and the same at the top, because they're the two eyes that take most of the wear of the line as it passes through. The others are really guides. And I'll just put it together for you so I can have a waggle of it. The first joint, top joint, goes in first because it's the thinnest one, and if you leave it laying around, it's certain that you or someone else, but more probably you, is going to tread on it.
It's true.
Put this, I'm always a bit stiffer than new, but they soon wear in after a time or two. Right, see how that feels.
Yeah,
Hold
it's
on,
nice.
hold on. I showed you how to hold that at the lake, didn't I, last time? Give us it back here. Come here, look. Hand there. So it runs along your arm, so it's balanced, all right?
Yeah.
Have another go.
How's that?
Oh, that's better, yeah. Do it like that all the time, we'd have no troubles. Let's try the reel on it. This is your reel. Brian's already very kindly loaded up with line for you.
Oh, thanks, Brian.
That's all right, mate.
It's the right sort of stuff. Now, what I want you to do, remember how I held my rod at the lake last time and showed you?
Yeah.
Put that leg of the reel there, between those two fingers, with your arm running along the top of the handle, and I want you to see if you can reach the top of that spool with that finger, all right, like that. So you can control the line when you're casting or letting line off for trotting. See how it feels.
Like that.
Can you do it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's smashing. Yeah, that's all right.
He looks all right with that, doesn't he?
Yeah, sound as a pound, that is no problem at all. Get it back here. Right, let's get it away. I've got you a landing net, keep net,
They're nice.
boxer shot. I've got loads of bits and pieces for you in the car as well that you don't know about yet. Floats and tackle boxes and goodness knows what. So, I think it's about time. Dovecot again, I think, Brian.
Yeah? How did you get on last time?
All right, we had a few, didn't we, Lee?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lee had one or two. But you're not going to be able to mug me for any bait today because I've got some left from the bench yesterday. So we'll get this away and we'll be off. Pick your landing handle up, mate. And your nets.
There you go, Lee.
Oh, yeah. Okay, what's
Yeah.
this here for? Because
Oh,
on the
that-
other net, it's all like that.
No, that's just a fine mesh to stop the fish getting caught up in at the bottom with their fins and everything.
You want the box?
No, you can
Keith?
have the box. I'll have
Okay,
to
mate.
spool, though.
Yeah,
It's
I'll put
for
it
you,
in.
put it in the bag.
Yeah.
Okay, mate. See you later, Brian.
All the best.
See ya.
Ta-ra,
Bye-bye.
mate.
See ya,
Catch
Brian.
a few.
Oh, we're certainly going to try. Ta-ra, mate.
Bye-bye.
Right, Lee, here we are at Dovecot Lake. Took a bit longer than I expected in the tackle shop this morning, but we've still got a couple of hours of daylight left to try and get some fishing in. I've chosen this particular swim because the wind has been blowing into this corner of the lake, and although it's a bit cold and uncomfortable for us, I reckon the fish should be just off the edge of these reeds here. Why we're sitting back a bit from the edge, a bit further than normal, try and get as close to the water as possible when we're fishing a long way out, but when we're fishing close in, then we want to give ourselves as much of a chance as we can of keeping ourselves away from the fish. Should we get your rod out and tackle it up?
Yeah.
So you've managed to get the bag dirty walking across the field.
Yeah.
How long do you reckon the bag will last?
No.
Always, when you put a rod up, put the top joint into the middle joint first.
Why?
Well, if you leave the thin bit in the bag,
Yeah.
what can happen is you can leave the bag laying about while you're putting the other two bits together, and it can get blown against something and damage the top joint, or you could even tread on it and snap it. Don't want to do that, do you?
No.
Not with a brand new rod. Tie that round your box strap. Save it blown
Got
away.
tight around this.
Yeah,
Why?
save it blown away.
Why not just stick it inside the box?
That looks nicer there. Might be able to use it as a towel later on. You're lucky enough to catch anything. Right, remember why we chose the rod? Nice and light, 12 foot long, and got that tip action that'll help you, should you hook a big fish, it'll cushion some of its lunges. I reckon we might get a tench here today. Sometimes at the end of the season, which it is now, although it's freezing cold, sometimes at the end of the season, tench do have a tendency to feed as they get ready for spawning. I always reckon that the last week and the first week of the season are the two best ones for tench. Now, it's got your reel on, remember, at the top of the handle, because that's where the rod balance is best. Just put your line through the rings. Open the bail line for that job. Could well be some fish down there today. The wind's been blowing this way for about 3 or 4 days now, and the food items get blown across on the ripple, go under here as the water hits the bank. You remember how I showed you on the canal how the water goes the opposite way to the wind?
Yeah.
Well, the same thing happens on lakes. So that food will go down there, and just off that shelf I reckon there could well be a few fish holed up.
What fish do you reckon we're going to catch today?
Well, we'd definitely catch roach. I mean, one thing you can say about this particular spot on linear fishery, you do get roach almost willy-nilly. They might not always big uns. I mean, I'm not saying we're going to break any records and get very, very heavy roach. But we're going to get some, and we might get a bream, might get a perch. Very well stocked with all species. Lots of carp as well. But we're not fishing in one of the parts of the lake well known for its carp. And if we were, we'd probably lose them on the tackle we're using because it's going to be fairly light. Right, that's your line through the rings. Now you can see the action of the rod. Yeah, that, if you've got a heavy fish lunging, that rod cushions it all. There's not much effort going in my end to do that, so you've got a really good shock absorber. Now, I've had a plumb up in my side of the swim.
What's a plumber?
Oh, of course, I haven't explained, have I? Well, what we do, we put a heavy weight on the hook to find out where the bottom is, because the chances are in the cold weather most of the fish will be on the bottom. And tie that knot, remember to always wet it first, and if we can find out exactly where it is and any differences in the bottom where you've got a shelf or a ridge, that's where the food particles gather and the fish will swim along looking for them. Put that in your pocket out of the way. Never leave bits of line laying about. Even small bits like that can be very dangerous. There's your hook here. Size 18 hook, I've already tied it. Got a few tied up on here. If I can just pick out the right one, we'll be laughing. That's it there. Tied to a bit of 1 3/4 breaking strain line, and that'll go on the line that Brian kindly put on for us this morning, the 2 pound. Double loop, like that. I'll run through this quick now because I know you're dying to get fishing. You can't see it on your face, you can't wait. You're bored rigid sitting there watching, didn't you? Well, no need to be, because we'll soon be out fishing. No, we want to plumb the depth, don't we? Plumb it. So clip-on plummet, right? Mother-in-law plummet. On the hook like that. Now, as I said, I reckon it's 6 foot deep, and I'm about 6 foot tall. So if I let some line out, put the plummet on the floor, and stand up, there, and there, that must be best part of 6 foot. And we've got probably, what, how long's that float? 7 inches? Got 7, 8 inches of float, so that'll make it about 6 foot 8. And I want it to be about a foot over depth.
Why?
Well, with this wind blowing, there's likely to be some kind of movement under the water, and if the surface drift pulls our float towards us, if we've not got any line laying on the bottom, it'll move the bait as well. If we've got a reasonable sized shot laying on the bottom, it'll anchor the bait still, giving the fish more of a chance to find it. Let's just not going too far out. Oh, that's about 6 inches over depth. Let's see where the shelf is. Oh, that's about 9-10 inches.
What's a shelf?
Ah, see, as the water comes up, this is a disused gravel pit. I used to dig them out years ago for gravel. Well, see how shallow it is there, just off the reeds. I used to dig out the gravel for making roads and buildings and things like that. And when they finished with them, they were just holes in the ground. They filled up with water, and then different people stocked them up with fish, plus Mother Nature, of course. Oh, that's fairly flat bottom there, so I reckon that is about the bottom of the shelf. That's a nice comfortable distance out, and the fish have got the cover of the weeds and the shelf as well, so if our luck's in, we're definitely going to catch a few. And that's about 6 inches over depth, and we want it to be a foot. So what I'm going to do is put a shot about there, undo the line off the float, and then another one to lock the float in position, and underneath it with the normal waggler locking principle. One there, like that. Undo the line off the top of the float like that. It's a much better way of plumbing up than usual. Most people will put their shot on first and then put a plummet on the hook or another weight on the hook, and it doesn't cast very well, and you don't get a very accurate idea of the depth. But doing it that way is perfect with the float attached both ends. Couldn't fish like that because, as I told you on the canal, remember when you had your float on with a rubber at each end, it'd get blown all over the place. Now we want a number 4 shot down here. Float takes 2 treble A, but what I've got locking it is 2 of a new size shot, which is AB, which is halfway between a treble A and a BB. And I expect you wonder why those sizes are in code and not numbers. Do you?
Yeah.
Well, I thought you might. The original weights we used were lead. We don't use lead anymore, but they came from shotgun cartridges. And the shotgun codes were treble A, BB, SSG, SG, down number 1468. And as the number got bigger, the shot was smaller, used for shooting different things. SG was small game, for example. And let's put that out there. We're not going to have a complicated shotting pattern down the line, because
why don't you just stick the shot anywhere? Why do you have to make it so complicated and put it in certain places?
Well, it's not really complicated. We've got the bulk of our weight at the bottom of the float, like I showed you on the canal, to make it cast, and then we're going to put the weights down the bottom to hold it still. Every shot on your line has got to do something for you. Dynamic shotting, it's all got to work. It's no good just putting lumps of weight anywhere. Oh, Canada geese. No good putting lumps of shot anywhere, because they won't work for you. Then you're just working for your shot.
Don't they ever shut up then, Canadian geese?
No. I used to live in Surrey, and they used to fly over my house at 3 o'clock in the morning in huge flocks this time of the year, driving me mad. Used to keep me awake and get very little sleep when they're around. Nice to see them though, isn't it? Bit of company on the bank. When they've got their chicks, luckily, fishing stopped then because it's the closed season. But if you come out for a walk around the lakes, they attack you. They come at you with their, standing up with their wings out, having a right go at you. Worse than a dog. In fact, some of the domestic geese that you see in farms are used as guard dogs. They're better guard dogs than Alsatians. They certainly make more noise and frighten off intruders better. Now let's see that settle. Right, that's settled to that number 4 shot. Now if I wind it back a bit, hopefully it's going to sit lower in the water. It's going to want a wee bit more. Wants another. I'm going to take that number 6 off and change it for a bigger one. In fact, what I think I'll do to keep it simpler still for casting into this wind is take the 6 and the 4 off and put somebody's car alarm going off. No, wait, I'll just slide that 4 down there and put another one next to it, then we can really fish a proper lift method. Like the middle of the country, you wouldn't believe you were close to quite a big main road. The M1 motorway's only just over there, so you get all sorts of traffic noises some days when the wind's in the right direction. Now that's 2 number 4s together there. If we want to split them up later on, we can.
Why have you put them together though?
Well, so I can get it really anchored to the bottom. Now you see how that time it cast out and the weight went past the float. That's what we want it to do, because if it does the other way, the weight lands this side of the float, it'll pull the float back rather than letting us pull the float back where we want it. Right, now those 2 number 4s are both laying on the bottom. I'm going to wind up onto them now, in a bit closer where the edge of that shelf is. When the float comes up, that's it, and I should be able to, that's it, they've just hit the bottom. Tighten up to it. That's it, and that's how it's going to be set now. Fish moves that shot, and watch this. See how it comes up? That's the sort of bite we might be getting with any luck. Okay?
Yeah.
Right, now you're ready to go. Put the hook down there, size 18 hook, in there. Wind's blustery, isn't it? Mind you, I think...
Yeah.
Do you think, I think it's getting warmer as it gets stronger, that wind, don't you?
Yep.
Let's see what bait we got. What's in here? Oh, there's some squats. What's that? Oh, there's some big maggots. We'll be using both of those. All these are. They're the housefly maggot, and they're just a big commercial maggot, like we used last time, do you remember? And we had a few red ones in it then. We've only got whites this time because we caught most of the fish on the whites. Let's put the lid back on that. Shot. And we're going to mix up a little bit of ground bait. You know what ground bait is?
Oh, what is it though?
There. That's a mixture of all seeds and... You smell it. Have a smell. That's it, now it's all blown up your nose. Put that on the ground, the birds will eat that. Sorry?
It smells.
It
smells that nice.
Fish like it, that's for sure. What it does, we can
What
mix...
fish does it attract?
All sorts, yeah, it gives you an idea on here. Roach, bream, tench and carp. We know all 4 of those are in here. So if it attracts them all, we're going to have a bumper afternoon, aren't we? Now, all we do, carefully get some water. I know it's shallow there in the edge and I've got my waterproof boots on. Just... Now that's it. Got to be careful with those rods, you don't want to break them.
How long does it take to make the ground bait?
What, to make it to put in the bag or to make it to throw in the lake?
To make it throw in the lake?
A few seconds. Water in the bowl. We're only going to want a little bit, we're not here for long. Put some ground bait in the water. Like that. See all the lumps in it? You can see bits of hemp and sweet corn and all sorts of things. Give it a stir, and this one's specially produced for lakes.
Why? Why can't you use it in like rivers and stuff? And
well, you could use it in a
canals?
river, but it's quite a light one. It's not one of those that's heavy. In a river, where a river flows fast, you need something quite heavy to get the bait down to the bottom and hold it there. But all we're using it for here, normally we'd be throwing our maggots in, but because the wind's very strong in our face, if you fired maggots with a catapult, they'd scatter everywhere. If you threw them, they'd probably end up behind you. You know what that reminds you of, that smell? Vanilla ice cream. So, really strong vanilla. Smell it?
yeah.
They like vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, but it's, that ain't like normal vanilla.
Now we'll just put a little tiny bowl in, and you'll be able to just, what you do, you get it, see how it's crumbly, like the bottom of a cheesecake, get a bit like that. just test it to see if it sinks. Put it beside our keep net there. There. Now as that goes down, bits come off it and then it will hit the bottom and it will start bubbling and working away, and that'll attract the fish. We can squeeze it tighter if we want it to go down a long way, or we can just give it a little, hold it together like that, and as that hits the water, that will break open and all the little bits come out. We'll put a few squats in that.
And a few maggots?
No, we won't put big maggots in it. If you put big maggots in it, when you make it into a bowl, I knew I couldn't keep your hands out of maggots for long. If you make it into a bowl with the big maggots in, as you squeeze it up, they start to wriggle, and if you throw it, it can break up in mid-air and go all over the place. Especially if you've got to put it out long distances. Right. Now, let's have your rod back. I'm going to put the... laying it down here a bit further. I'm going to put your float into position, because not only does the float tell us where you get bites, it's also like a marker. Put in your bait. Put 2 maggots on, because we're being optimistic. 2. Drop it out over that ledge. Now, put it on your rod rest. I've put it just in the right place. I think if you sit there with it, it will just put the rod in the rest. Put the rod in the rest. That's it. The end of the rod just goes under the water to keep it out the way of the wind. Put 1 little ball of ground bait in, and then you can wind down. Now, just wind down very, very slowly till the float settles like you saw it just now. Very slowly. Keep going. Keep going a bit more. That's it. There. Right. Still up a bit, this. That bottom's so clean it won't lock onto anything. That's got it, that'll do. Right. Now, I'm just going to have a go myself. I know the wind's blowing this about a bit. Watch it carefully, because sometimes you get bites quite quickly after you start. Home in on that little plop that the ground bait makes, and you can be in business straight away. Just getting myself now. I'm just going to put 1 maggot on. The rig's made up quite similar to yours, and I'm just going to fish over a bit more to the left. I'll just drop it in, avoiding your float. There we are, like that. I'm going to have my own bit of ground bait, though. I'm not going to rely on yours.
Keith, I've got a bite!
Oh, blimey. Oh, that didn't take long. Quick, out. Oh, come here. Come here. No, don't try and grab it. Don't try and grab it. Don't try and grab it. I think I better show you that bit again, don't you? Dear,
Yeah.
oh dear, you don't wind it right up there like that. Poor little thing, giving him flying lessons. Let's unhook him as quickly as possible and put him in the net. Right.
That wasn't long.
You take that now. It don't take long, mate. Not when you're in the right place and you've got the right bait. Right, that's you set and back out in the water.
Yeah.
Now, I better shoot. Excited, aren't you?
Yeah.
First fish on your new rod, I should think you are. I'm just going to show you now how I put your maggots on, because I know you wanted to get out as quick as possible. I'm using a slightly smaller hook than you, but what you do, I showed you the other day on the lake, but it no hurt to show you again. The fat end and the thin end of the maggot. Let's get one, it makes life easier. Some more of our mates. The fat end and the thin end of the maggot. Hold the thin end, look at the fat end, and the side opposite the 2 little dots that everybody calls the eyes, you got the frilly bit. And what you do when you're hooking a single maggot on, you put the hook through the frilly bit as close to the edge as possible so you don't burst it. And even on a cold day like this, still got plenty of wriggle in it, right? Then you've got double maggot on. To do that, what we do is put the other one on the other way round. So have the 2 eyes away from the point of the hook,
Why don't you just put them the same way? What's the
Well,
difference?
it can make them spin. They'll come in like a helicopter and tangle up your hook link, and you'll wind up with a big knot or something like that, or a big twisted bit. You see how they hang back to back like that?
Yeah.
If we hook them on the other way, they stick out like that, and you get loads of trouble. Right. Let's get back in. Was that one of those lift bites I told you about, or was it an ordinary go under
That
bite?
was an ordinary go under bite.
Oh, was it? It's very important with that shotting on the bottom that you make a note of your bites, because if you're getting all lift bites,
Yeah.
it could be, and the fish are deeply hooked, it could be you want to rearrange your shotting. That one was hooked right in the lip, so obviously we've got it about right. By no means the only way, let's put a bit more ground bait in, by no means the only way to shot up in a lake. One for you, and one for me. Sometimes the fish come up off the bottom in the water and we put a strung out shotting pattern on. Mainly it's the small fish that come up, but sometimes the bigger ones will intercept it too, and it's important to know exactly what fish do. Show you what I mean. Right, Lee, let's have a look under the water and see if we can find out anything about fish behaviour and feeding habits.
Won't it be different in the tank to in real life?
Well, not really, they're wild fish. And although the species may be more concentrated together, they're not used to being fed by people. Can you notice how the smaller fish are nearer the surface? They're mainly dace. There's a bream and a skimmer. Ah, there's Mr. Pike keeping a close watch on events.
They eat small fish, don't they?
Oh yeah, they're predators. Notice how the other fish are keeping well clear.
Yeah.
Pretty roach.
Is that a bream?
Yep, and that's a skimmer with it. That's what matchmen call small bream.
Lovely dace, aren't they?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of them. Look, that's a smashing rudd. Look at that. What a pretty fish. Don't appear camera shy either, does he?
Bit of a poser.
Yeah, just a bit. Can you see how the smaller fish shoal up?
Yes, why's that?
Well, they say there's safety in numbers. Perhaps it's because the pike's on the prowl. Oh no, he's got his eyes on that rough. But I suspect his spiky dorsal fin will keep him safe. Look at the scales on that mirror carp.
Why is it called a mirror?
Well, because those big scales, they're very shiny, just like glass. You can almost see your face in them.
Another bream.
Yeah. Always grouped together. Lovely nick, aren't they? Oh, there's one of my favourite fish, tench. It's got tiny greeny bronze scales and a lovely little red eye. Don't really do it justice, that picture. Ah, look, there's a crucian. That one in the background, it's a crucian carp. The old mirror's pushed his way to the front again, though.
Yes, he must be a right poser.
Yeah, another poser. Watch his fins and tail, see how they work together to keep his position in the water. All perfectly coordinated. Almost camouflage against that stone.
Crop's always in the camera, isn't it?
Oh yeah. There goes that rudd again.
It looks like a roach. How do you tell the difference?
Well, the rudd's bottom jaw overlaps the top, and the dorsal fin, that's the one on the top of its back, it's set further back than on a roach.
What's that fish doing? It's a tench, isn't it?
Yep, looks like it's eating some weed. I had a right chew on that. Oh, no, it's spat it out again. It's probably sucking the algae off the weed and it's eating that. It's quite a common habit. Looks like it's enjoying it though, doesn't it? It's a bream. Oh, there's a few of them together. Generally you can see them like that. Catch one and you can bet there's some more not too far away. See what I mean?
Yeah. Is that a ruffler at the bottom?
No, it's a gudgeon. He don't seem to like it too much, does he? Don't fancy being a star. There's a bream giving us a nice close-up. Do you see its mouth then, the way it extended out?
Yeah.
They call that a prehensile mouth. They use it for picking up stones and food off the bottom. Saves them sort of standing up on their head. Look at that, perfect example. Oh. He's going away see if he can find some scoff. There's that carp again. God, dear, oh dear. Look at that perch, that's showing off. See its dorsal fin up, they display like that to show of aggression. Your mate, you can see it's a gudgeon now, clearly, can't you?
Yeah.
Now there's a crucian carp again, see it? Top right in the middle of the screen now at the top.
And there's another one.
Yeah, there's another one. See that? Oh, just gone behind it. Oh, see that roach there? You see its dorsal fin is right in a direct line above its ventral fins. They're the ones underneath. On the rud, that fin's set much further back. Do you remember I showed you that's how we tell the difference?
Yeah.
Oh, there's some maggots coming down.
Didn't want that, did he?
No, he did, didn't he? Look at him mopping it up. No one of the bigger fish on the bottom don't get any chance.
Those maggots didn't last long, did they?
No, they don't. Go like lightning. Not one left.
Lots of dice, isn't there?
Yeah, it's all milling around looking for some more, waiting for some more grub to come in, I suppose. See how they all scatter? Look, they've all scattered. And there's some more maggots coming in. Initially, they frighten you, see, but they soon recover. The speed of it. They can take a maggot in and spit it out quicker than you can think. A few more maggots that time. Some of them got through to the bottom, but the dace just followed them down. Looks like some more on the way. There's a little bit of ground baiting with that lot. That might help it get to the bottom. Yeah, there's some got through there. We're picking the crumbs of ground bait out now, see? Seems just sort of filtering it. And there's some more. Look at the speed of it. Dear, oh dear. There's a couple of maggots just got caught up on that weed. There's another one, see?
Oh, yeah.
That pike don't like it. They're obviously on his territory. Still having a sweep about, picking those bits up. The breams on the bottom there obviously got interested now. There's a roach, he's having some fun.
God, look at that maggot.
Yeah, it's got an air bubble on it. Didn't last long either, did it?
Someone's dropped a ball of ground bait in. That's got through the small fish.
Yeah, they're just getting the loose crumbs that fall off the main ball. They're getting very excited by it as well, aren't they? But you notice how the main ball stays there on the bottom?
Yeah.
They're completely ignoring it.
The bigger fish are finding their way to it now.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. They'll find their way to it all right. Hello, looks like that chub's got some serious intent. There, chub ain't supposed to like ground bait. Have a look at that one. He's blowing it up off the bottom. Look, you watch him. I bet he comes back. There it is, there. See him? He's disturbed that with his fins. so he can get at any maggots and bigger pieces of ground bait that's floating about in it. All the smaller fish are making hay. See, as the bits come up, they're not going to interfere with that chub. He's got his mind on his work.
Oh look, there's another one.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he's told his mates. Those small fish up near the surface. Yeah, that's our mirror carp again. He's found something to have a chew on. Making a right meal of it, isn't he? All bits coming out of his gills. The chub's still there, mopping up, making sure nothing gets wasted. He's swimming off the other side of that log to look for something now. Obviously got something there to his liking. I think he's probably picking up stones off the bottom, you know. Now that one definitely is, you can see him rooting around. And there's that bream as well. Do you see that? He just spat that stone out.
Yeah.
They clean all the little bits of grub and algae off it, and then they just eat the algae and put down lovely polished stones in their place. Perfect example of his lips as well. Now that carp's doing it too. Really got excited.
What's that?
That's a rough, I think, isn't it? Oh no, it's a little tiny zander.
He doesn't appear to be very hungry.
No, he's not. He don't eat ground bait, mate. He eats small fish. He's another predator like the pike. There's another carp doing the hoovering up of the stones trick. Leave no stone unturned. Yeah, mate, seen enough?
Yeah, come on, let's get back.
Righto. Right, do you see what I mean when I said about the fish feeding all depths?
Yeah.
When I was telling you about the other shotting patterns, you can now understand what I mean by on the drop, where you put the smaller shot spread along your line, and as your float hits the water, your shot will go out past it, nice and straight. Can't do it with the wind in your face like this, but then your float will gradually drop down like that as each shot takes register until just the tip's showing. If it should suddenly stop there and not go any further, then a fish has intercepted your bait on the way down, strike, you caught a fish. And sometimes it can be big uns. I've seen bream and tench rolling on the surface, and carp in the summer are prolific feeders. They'll swim around intercepting everything as it hits them. Oh, it's my turn now.
Is it big?
No, didn't think I'd get one as quick as that after you. And it's bigger than yours, look. Oh.
Do you reckon I'll catch one as big as that today?
Don't know. Could do. We're both fishing the same place with the same tackle. Oh, it's the same as yours. It's a roach. A little bit bigger, probably about 6 ounces this one. I'll put that down there. Gently slip the hook out. There we are. Look. Lovely winter condition. They start to get a bit rough this time of the year as they're ready to spawn. But that's in first class order. Slip him in the net quickly. Right. Did you notice how easy it was for me to net that fish?
Yeah.
Well, while you were wandering around this morning, looking at places where we could fish when I already knew we'd catch loads of fish here,
Yeah.
I was busy setting out our swim. And I've set it up for 2 people, and I've tried to get everything to hand. See, I had your rod rest there, ready. And as you know, you're holding the rod, the rod's just sitting on your knee, the tip just in the water at the perfect height. Put my float out again. Oops, I've gone over yours. Not particularly inspiring cast, was it? Sometimes harder to cast close in than it is a long way out. Right, that's it. Winding back. I've got my rod rest already there. And because I take up more of the seat box than you do, I haven't got room for my rod at the seat box, so mine's on my bait bag beside me. I've set up my bait tray, so we've got our maggots, ground bait, squats, all the little bits of tackle that we'll be needing. Everything's ready. keep net exactly where we want it between the two of us. Low to the water, plenty of water just to drop the fish in, and them swim over those reeds down into the dark sack part at the bottom where they'll stay, keep nice and quiet. And the landing net resting on top of the keep net. Now if I should hook a big fish and want you to help me land it, you can pick it up and I can do the same thing for you. Clever, isn't it?
Yeah.
Always handy if you can get everything ready and be properly organised. It makes the world of difference. Now our floats are really close together. Let's see if I can... Oh, that bit more your side. No, doesn't matter.
Is it a big?
No, it's only a little one. Ah, it's a perch.
Oh.
Remember?
It's not a bad perch, is it?
No, it's only a little baby one. Remember the ones you caught down at the canal?
Yeah.
That morning I saw you with your dad?
Yeah.
Yeah. One of those.
Hasn't got no spines, though, it says.
Yes, it has got spiny, very, very sharp. Always got to be careful of those. He puts those up when he gets angry. Slip him in the net. Go on, down you go. That's it. Right. Fast and furious, isn't it?
Yeah.
I thought the fish would be here because of that wind, and I've been proved right so far. Mr. Tench ain't turned up yet, but the way this ground bait's working, shouldn't take us too long, should it?
No.
Let's drop him out there. Quick flick, get the line down. Settle a bit more ground bait, I think, don't you?
Yeah.
Right. Here we go. You have a throw, see if you can throw a bit in. Just not too much of a squeeze, don't make it too hard. Because you want it to break up quite soon after it hits the bottom. Oh, you're not as accurate as me. You've got to bite. Quick, strike. What's that? It's fighting a bit harder. Oh, that's another perch. Same as mine, but it looks a bit bigger. Try and bring him up. Oh, don't let him get in those weeds. Got him.
Yeah.
Just stopped him before he dived into those
Oh,
weeds.
good. I like this place.
That's a bigger perch. Let a bit of slack line out. Get him unhooked. I think I used a disgorger on that. He's hooked just inside the mouth, ain't he? That's it. Look at him, he's a much bigger perch, isn't he?
Yeah. It's lovely.
Lovely fish. Slide him in the net. Oh, what is it? Did you pick that bit of weed up while you were playing him?
I think so.
Did he? Right, put that down there. Hook out the net. Disgorge back where it belongs. Behind me here. Right, quick. You put your own maggots on this time. See if you can do it properly. I'll put the landing net back. Don't look at my float, look at your own. All right, you out? Good. Right. Oh. Gone a bit over the top there, old boy, ain't you? Right over me. Come in again, let me show you. You've gone a bit haywire there with your casting. What you want to try and do is get everything in a straight line. I'll show you what I mean. Don't mind me snatching your rod, will you?
No.
Right. What you've got to do, if you're casting towards a point, say you want to cast at that tree over there,
Yeah.
then what you do, you start off aiming at it, sit looking at it first of all, get everything straight behind you, like that, and cast towards it. Once you've got everything going straight, all you've got to worry about is how far. right?
Yeah.
Because if you point the butt of the rod at it and the top of the rod comes down pointing at it, the float can only go that way. You might have to make allowances for wind and things like that, but that's the way to cast a long way. Now when you're fishing close in, like we are now, there's no need even to do that. All you've got to do is just drop it more or less where you want it. Just stand up and just a gentle flick out.
That easy.
Like I just didn't. No, that wind change just at the wrong time, me being big-headed. Just flick out like that. There, see?
Oh, yeah.
Rod under, and back you come. Bit different fishing with your rod to mine. Your one's 12 foot, the one I'm using's 13. It makes quite a lot of difference when you're going a bit sideways.
Excuses.
I thought I'd a bite then. I'm obviously not as good at recognising bites as you're getting. Let's have a look. Very important to cast correctly, because the more time you spend with your bait in the right place, the more chance you've got of catching a fish. That's what we come for, isn't it?
Yeah.
You got a bite, strike.
Oh, we get another one.
You're doing well. Unlock him. Oh, just looked on. Normally got a disgorger behind me here. I've left
What's
it laying
that?
on the trailer. It's a roach.
Disgorger?
Disgorger? Oh, what we use for getting the hooks out. Just slides down the line, onto the hook, quick push, and out it comes. Slip him into the net.
Can
Well
I chuck
done.
some ground bait out?
In a minute, in a minute. Got to put your float out again first. Time for a bit more ground bait, do you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah, give it a good old mix around, because all the little maggots we put in go down to the bottom to get out the light. They always go downwards, maggots, to keep in the dark. Give it a good old mix around to get some squats moved in it. Right, now look at that. A squat pie. Out we go.
Got another one.
Well done. Think it's a netter?
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Let's have a look. Is it another perch, do you reckon?
Yeah.
Is it? There it is. No, it's a roach. Try and bring him over the net. Same me chasing him. Oh, he's dived into those weeds quick, hasn't he? There you go. Good boy.
Oh, it's good here.
Yeah,
Enjoying
well
this wickedly.
Wickedly. Not brill.
It's good, it's brilliant.
Oh, brill, is it?
Yeah.
Wicked, brill.
Yeah,
Anything else?
everything.
I'm certainly getting all the donkey work up and down to the net, aren't I?
Yeah.
No, put your maggots on for you. Go on. Just try that little cast that you did overhead. Do that again, but just remember, do it all straight. Think you managed that? Disappeared over the back of my box then. That's not bad at all. Let me get mine out of the way. Mine's in the way, if anything. There you are. Right.
Shall I chuck some ground bait in?
No, not yet. Let me do that. That's it. Right. Now, yep, you can put a bit in if you like. Don't forget, give it a good old mix up. Really impressed with this stuff. It's working like magic, isn't it? So many different kinds of ground bait nowadays. Excuse me. So many different kinds of ground bait. This is
Right in the middle.
dead-eyed dick. This is one of the continental types, and as I told you before, when we were mixing it up, they've got bits of hemp and seeds and all sorts of little bits and pieces in it, and smells and flavours. I'd hate to take a guess at how many different things there are in it. That looks like a little sesame seed there. I've just split open. There's bits of hemp you can see and maize. Lots and lots of bright yellow bits and everything. See them all in there?
Yeah.
All crumbled up.
Oh, got one.
Another one?
Yeah.
I'm getting a right needle with you. Come on, bring it to me. Hello, my float's gone as well. Oh, it's tangled up round yours. That fish must have took it without us knowing.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I had a result then. Let's see.
Oh,
Might be on my hook.
it's brilliant today. I'm
I think
really
it's on
enjoying this.
No, it is on your hook. I could have had a right flannel then and kidded you on, couldn't I? I'm afraid you're getting a bit too good for me. Hold that. Better find someone else to take you next week, pal. I'll get my hook out of there in a minute. Let's put this down here. Get him in the net quickly. Another roach. Well, combination of squats in the ground bait certainly seems to be working today, doesn't it? Big maggot on hook, squats in the ground bait. Generally seems to work. It's a nice old plane. Have a look at that, look.
Lovely.
It's probably a training plane of some kind. Had the odd and buzzing around today. Put a bit more ground bait in. Yeah, we could have used pinkies on the hook, casters, but we only had the old bits of bait I had left over from... there's another one to me. Oh, I'm catching you up now, sunshine. Another little roach, they're pretty fish, aren't they?
Yeah.
Get him in the net. Go on, down you go. Oh dear. Just a bit old bits of bait I had left over from yesterday. And they seem to be doing a trick. No loose feed. Just
Ground bait.
bits of ground bait and a few squats. And down the hole she goes. Almost every time we put a bit of ground bait in. Ha ha ha, you missed that one, didn't you? Never mind. Sure you'll get another one. Get twisted. No, it's alright. I thought it was twisted around your shot for a minute.
I'll try squat on you with Maggie.
You can do if you like, yeah. Can work sometimes, but double maggot seems to be scoring well enough for me. I think I'll stick with that.
What are these red spots in you?
No, they're probably little red pinkies. I had some red pinkies that I was feeding as well, and some probably flew out in the catapult and dropped into there.
Maggie.
That breeze is definitely blowing the fish into this bay.
Oh.
Oh, that was a bit of a boss-eyed cast after what I showed you just now. Let's move mine out of the way. So I'll make it easier for you. Move mine out of the way. Go on. That's better. Bit OTT. Wind him in a bit. That's it. Better check my maggots. He's been out there 30 seconds. I might have had a bite. Oh, I see you've cast right into my swim now, crafty clogs.
That ain't your swim.
Yes, it is. I'm supposed to be beating you, you know. Put a bit more in.
Come into the ground bait a bit.
Oh, I see. A bit too far away from your float, was it?
Yeah.
Let's get that line tightened up. And another. Hello. Look at that little chap.
What, it's a little perch?
Little tiny perch, yeah. And as perch usually do. Seems to have made quite a big meal of it. I'm going to have to use my disgorger.
It's amazing what them fish can take down, them small fish.
Oh, yeah. Just ease the hook out with the disgorger. I'll put that in the net and I'll show you how we use that, because it's probably the first time... Oh, no, I've used it once before today, but I don't think I showed you then. Let's have a look. What it is... Plastic there, barrel there, with quite a big hole in the end. It goes, I'll demonstrate with my shot, pretending my shot is where the target is in the fish's mouth. It slides down the line till it reaches the target, then pushes down against the bend of the hook, and you can just release the hook quite comfortably without any problem at all. See?
Some bubbles have been coming up round there, do you know?
Have they?
Yeah, what do you reckon it is?
Don't know. Could be tench, as I said to you. There are
Yeah.
tench caught here definitely in the summer, and it wouldn't surprise me so near the end of the season to catch another one. Right, let's go out. I'll throw a bit of ground bait round your float this time, shall I?
Yeah.
Right, here we go. There. Can't complain at that, can you? Oh, in again. Another one to me.
Corkies, there must be millions of fish in here.
Well, there's quite a few, that's for sure. But it really pays to know what you're about, to make sure you're fishing the right swim. We've chosen this very, very carefully. We've taken the wind into consideration, the cover given to us. We've stayed well back. Let's put this in the net so we can get the fish closer in. It's quite difficult on lakes to tell which are good swims and bad swims until you've had a really good look around and a mess about with a plummet. But it's sometimes a bit easier to tell on a river because you get more obvious things like overhanging trees. I'll tell you what, next time we go, I'll take you to a river and I'll show you what I mean. All right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think now the light's starting to go. Spent a bit longer than I wanted to in the tackle shop. It's held us back a bit on time at the bank, so I think we should pack up. I know you want to stay until pitch dark, but we can't. So pull your float out and we'll have a look at what we've caught. All right?
Yeah.
Come on, mate. Right, mate. Got it?
Yeah.
That's it. Put your hook in by your reel there. In there.
Whereabouts? There.
Just in the loop where the reel goes, yeah.
My finger.
Got it?
Nearly. Yeah.
Right. Tight, get your line a bit tight. Anti-reverse on. That's it. Anti-reverse on, good. Right. Move him out of the way. Right.
I've enjoyed myself today.
Let's get him up. I should think you have as well. For a couple of hours, we've had a real load. Get that.
Mainly roach, hasn't it then?
Mainly roach, couple of perch, couple of gudgeon. No tench, unfortunately, but it was a bit of a high hope. Come on, down you go. There. Not a bad little afternoon at all.